I'm Susan and today I'm being baptised. Our son Lewis has also been dedicated, so it's a very special day for myself, my husband Paul and our son Lewis. I'd like to start with how I arrived to Christianity. It was a time of my life where I'm experiencing true happiness. It hadn't always been that way. For many years, me and Paul wanted a family, but it never happened. Then more years went on, it never happened. We came to a realisation that we weren't going to have any children, and I tried to continue to live my life, not the life we wanted, but to continue living. I found myself withdrawing from people, from situations. It was just incredibly hard. During that time, I never turned to God, which I now deeply regret. Then Lewis arrived. Lewis happened in our world, and I would say from the very moment I was having Lewis and every day onwards is when I recognised and acknowledged God. I was aware of him in the world, in other people, his wisdom and events going on round about me. When I was putting my thoughts together for this, a phrase sort of came into my mind, and that phrase, this ungodly hour, why am I awake at this ungodly hour? Those hours during the night when I was up at 1 a.m, 2 a.m, 3 a.m, unluckily sometimes 4 a.m, feeding Lewis, cradling this new little life, is when I was asking so many questions. What is this world that we brought our son into? Am I doing this right? Am I good enough? And I realised that all those questions, who I was talking to was God. Other people have also been so important in my journey. I'd like to mention Joe. Pre-pandemic, I'd bumped into Joe a few times with our lovely children, and we got chatting, and she mentioned church, and her mentioning of church got one little cog starting to turn in my head. Then the pandemic arrived, so bumping into people at the park just didn't happen, but I do know that if I'd continued chatting to Joe, we would have spoken more about the church. Then Dan, Becky, the wonderful Judah, Little Hope and Diesel moved in next door, our temporary next door neighbours. I felt a warmth from the family, a connection. I wanted to get to know them better. So through a series of different situations and conversations, Becky invited me to Heart Church, and well, here I am now. The moment I'd say I became a Christian was that very first Heart service. I didn't know what to expect, but wow, the feeling, I felt I was with God. I felt him surrounding me. I felt his love. I think it made me realise he's always been there. He'd been there for me all the time. I just hadn't seen him. But the moment I did, there were tears. I could remember that, but happy tears. It was very powerful for me. And the difference in becoming a Christian to me is, I think it's feeling the power of that love, having something to trust completely, something to turn to be able to turn to God, to ask the questions I need to ask, to seek his guidance and wisdom. I find it very soothing. As a parent, I find it very soothing, but also very important. It gives me a basis on how to raise Lewis, the values I want him to have, the values I want him to live with. Why I want to be baptised now is because I want to show God I love him. I want to share my family's life with him. I want to raise our son with his guidance and his wisdom. I want to say sorry for not noticing you before, not accepting your love before. I suppose, to sum it up, if I am a book, what I've just shared with you is my prologue. The title of chapter 1 is My Baptism, and that chapter starts when I rise out the water or I'm pulled out the water. That's my new chapter. I'm incredibly excited about it, a little bit nervous, but I'm so happy. So thank you, God.